Winging It with some Q&A.
Growing up on the water with fishing in their blood, Arey and Bryan Thrift have spent the last 10 years competing against the biggest names in professional bass fishing. Their success has landed them ranked among the top anglers in the world. If you're looking to become a better angler, then this show has all the answers. Join us and follow along to get actionable tips, tactics, and tried and true techniques directly from the pros. Welcome to Let's Talk Fish.
All right, we're back.
We're back. And we got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, we always got something to talk
Yeah,
about.
but
We'll come up with something.
we don't have an agenda tonight.
Yeah, we're sitting here talking about topics, and of course, there's a lot of stuff going on in the industry. But we touched on a little bit of that last week. But we're going to take pretty much, we'll call it open Q&A
Open
night.
mic.
Open mic night.
There we
Open
go.
mic night. We're going to do Q&A. So Jeff's throwing stuff at me. Hold on.
What'd he throw?
That didn't work out too well.
He threw
Oh,
us
an
another
awesome
Sportsman's Warehouse gift card that we'll be giving away at the end of the show.
Exactly.
And along with that, BASS membership. What was that? Was that your chair? I hope that was your chair.
I don't know.
There are a lot of stink bugs in the room.
What was that?
Oh, yeah.
What was that? Come on, man. Come on, man. It's just us cooped up in this little tight room.
That's
And
funny.
Bruce ain't even here to blame
Got
it on.
jokes.
Yeah, Thunderfoot's not here. You can't throw the blame
Got
on
jokes.
Thunderfoot. All right, to tell us about the FLW conference call yesterday. That's interesting. What? I missed it.
Randall. Oh, that's the comment of the year.
What's up, Ryan, Jeffrey, Dave, Nathan, Randy, Todd, Steven? Big David Williams is on. David, you should be in a tree. Well, I guess it's dark. You probably should be out of a tree now. Let's talk about monster bucks. I mean, look, guys, y'all know how I feel about it.
Matt's tagged out now. He's going to have to fish this fall
I'm
because he
tagged-
can't hunt anymore.
I'm tagged out on bucks. Number one, I have 4 no tags
he's
left.
going to shoot 4 does.
And Anthony, I'm pretty sure I just saw the comment that y'all are laughing at from Anthony Ray.
Depending on the numbers, he might can get it.
Hey, Taylor, I tried to get Matt to let me go hunting, and he said no.
No,
That's what he said.
I said he can go. He's just limited to where he can go.
Well, that's
I
fine
have
with
plenty
me.
of places.
I don't care where I go.
I have plenty of places. All right, Tony C's is gone. What?
What's Tony?
Tony C's was a little Italian place at the right there above Prairie Creek Marina at Beaver Lake. A little Italian joint right there before you get to the convenience store where everybody fills up the gas on the right.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So,
yeah.
Because I always stayed right there at Beaver Lake Lodge at the top of the hill, I'd eat there like every night, and my buddies Teddy and Mike would make fun of me because they said it was, I don't know, they just laughed at me. I thought it was pretty good food, though. But he said they closed up shop. I do hate to hear that, Teddy. Of course, Lord willing, I might never get to see Beaver Lake again. I mean, I hope I do. But
I like Beaver.
I know I do. I'm saying, Lord willing, I would love to see it again, but I probably won't. I mean, I don't know that. I mean, I say that. Maybe one of the tours will go back one day. I hope they do.
I wonder if it's still good.
Taylor,
Like it was getting good.
yeah. Thrift tried to talk. He tried to talk me into letting hunt in his club since I tagged out. I don't have a club, Taylor.
He does have a club.
It's called Me, Myself, and I.
Yeah,
that's my club.
it's Matt's only club. No, only one member.
That's not true.
It's-
Not true. What's up, Tim Robinson? Thanks for getting on and watching.
All right, we got to stay focused. Jeff Marks says talking about hunting,
Stay focused. Well, see, that's the problem. We get these hunting comments,
and it is open mic night.
and it is open mic night. So I look for any excuse I can to talk deer hunting this time of year. It's almost Halloween, man. You know what that means.
I think we need to see what's on Jeff's mind. Jeff hadn't talked a lot on the show the last couple months.
We
There's a reason for that, Brian.
We will be winging it at that point.
What's on your mind, Jeff? Everybody's wanting to know.
I had a busy day today.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
Abnormal. Yeah.
Sorry. I had
That was
to.
pretty good.
All right, I'm starting to see some questions rolling in, guys. Yeah, it's straight up. We're straight up winging it tonight. Just doing straight
Yeah,
up.
here's a good question. Let's just jump right on a fishing
Go
question.
ahead,
It's the
do
first
it,
one
Smoke.
I've seen tonight from Jacob Davis. He asked, when do you use an underspin versus a regular swim bait head, just a jig head with a swim bait?
when they're let me answer in thrift terms. When they're biting one better than the other.
That's not wrong.
All right, let's hear your answer though.
All right, my answer is I like the underspin a little better pre-spawn when it's cold, and I like the single swim bait a little better around the spawn. And then when you creep up into summertime, I like them both. Like if I'm throwing one in the summer, I'm going to have both of them on the deck because I think there are fish that will bite the underspin better than a single swim bait, and then I think there's fish that will bite a swim bait better than the underspin. So that's pretty much how I do it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I'll add a little tidbit that I don't necessarily think is 100% true all the time, but it's something that I seem like I've had better luck with, especially fishing moss and stuff. Seems like when that water gets a little bit more of a green tint to it, like it gets it's not dirty.
Like an algae tint.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like that the blade runners and the fish head spins and things like that will shine a little bit more than a single swim bait.
I agree.
But then there's Lanier, which is crystal clear, and they bite that. Of course, they bite it better in low light down there. It seems like too.
Right.
So
early in the mornings.
Yeah. So the fish head spin I'll pick up over a single swim bait when the water's got a little bit of funk to it, like a little algae bloom or a little green tint. It's not crystal, that pretty blue clear color. That just add that to what Thrift said, and hopefully that's the right recipe.
I think that is a good answer.
All right. Let's see. 4.5 pound smallmouth. I just caught at Douglas. Oh, Ronald Young. He caught a big smallmouth at Douglas. That is a big one. We can talk about all you want, Ronald. What'd you catch it on and where'd you catch it? You can drop coordinates down there in the feed. I'm sure people would love to know. He said he won't talk about it, so let's talk about it. Let's see. Favorite part of the week. Thanks, Patrick. Ryan, appreciate it, man. And let's see. Talk about how bad the Potomac regionals were. Anthony, I don't have a clue. Do any of our?
I didn't look at it either.
David was up there, wasn't he?
David,
Williams?
I have no idea.
I think David was up there fishing that regional. You know who won it? I just saw that today, as a matter of fact. I think this is right. I think Bradford won it.
Oh, I did hear Bradford won it.
So congrats to Bradford. He's won a lot of regional and coastal championship. He's won a lot of AAA level stuff, AA level stuff in the past 2 years. That boy's been killing it and had a great year on tour last year too.
I know he won a Costa championship a couple years ago at Kentucky Lake.
Yeah, the one that you weighed in like 110 pounds the first time.
Yeah, and finished 10th.
Not 110, but like 27. It was something crazy.
I had like a 7-pound lead and finished 10th.
Yeah. Well, you actually told me on the phone you were surprisingly pretty honest.
I'm always honest.
Said that I may not catch one tomorrow, and I think you managed to catch one.
That's it. That's exactly right.
You did manage to catch one, but yeah. But day, man, when it's your day, and that was one heck of a day. Better to have it than 27 pounds got you the 10th place finish.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't for that,
I think I weighed in like 32 pounds total, and 27 of it came on the first day.
Oh yeah, shout out to Big Show Scroggins who won the Glenn Brown Memorial Tournament, and I got to give him a shout out because he weighed in almost 38 pounds.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Which is pretty insane. I don't know this time of year.
That's good any time of year.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right.
It doesn't matter when it is.
You're right, but I don't know if there's a lot of like 20-pound bags this time of year, or if 37 is like a freak of nature for especially this time of year, not only any other time of year.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And I heard there was a great turnout. And I want to thank everybody that if you followed it or if you're in the area and you fished it or were there, I heard there was a great turnout, and just it's awesome to see the support behind that. I know Glenn's wife, she took a lot of pride in getting that set up, and I heard they raised a lot of money that she'll be donating to various cancer research or stuff like that to do with cancer. So it's an awesome deal to see it go off without a hitch like that.
That was very cool. And guys, keep in mind couple good charity tournaments coming up for great causes. The first one is going to be November 2nd at Lake Norman. It is the North Shelby Special Olympics tournament. That's put on by Ricky Peace and a lot of great sponsors for that event. It will be at Lake Norman, I believe, out of Queen's Landing. Is that right?
That's usually where they go out of. Okay. I think so.
The next Saturday, which is November 9th, I believe, will be the SOS tournament, the Special Ops Survivors tournament that Angler's Choice is putting on. And that will be also at Lake Norman. And I'm not sure. I said the other week what ramp that was out of, but I want to say it's maybe out of
I
Pinnacle.
think I've got the flyer right here. Trent sent me. Let me.
Yeah, he emailed it to us, by the way. He emailed it to us. So while Brian's looking that up, Anthony, I've already got a trivia question locked and loaded. Whether the answer I have is correct, that's yet to be determined. But I have my trivia question and my correct answer. And like I said, at the end of the show, we'll be giving away another Sportsman's Warehouse gift card and a BASS membership.
Yeah, I got it right here.
All right.
The SOS tournaments brought to you by Angler's Choice Marine is November the 9th at Queen's Landing from safe light to 3 p.m. $150 per team, $20 big fish option. Going to be a great tournament.
Yeah, that's that out of Queens. Oh, somebody's posting in the feed now about the SOS tournament. Special Olympics is out of Pinnacle. So
okay.
Jeremy Bolden just let us know. Thanks, Jeremy, for that. Let's see. Eric Stanberry want to know best baits for Lake Norman in March. Well, Brian won, if I'm not mistaken. Your first tour level win was at Norman in March. Yeah. So go ahead with that one.
To me, March on Norman is crankbait time and jig time. That's what I caught all my fish on at Norman. I was throwing a half-ounce homemade jig as a shooter lures, and I was throwing a Demiki DC 100 crankbait and just fishing shallow, 5 feet or less, looking for a little bit of stain in the water, and that seems to be where those bigger fish will pull up on. So if you've got a cloudy day with a little bit of wind, you got to be throwing a crankbait, jerkbait, Alabama rig, something that's you can cover water with and try to catch 5 big ones. And if you get a little bit of sun, they'll pull up on the docks and you kind of lean more on the jig. So that's my March tip for Lake Norman.
Oh, wow. Ryan said there was like 50 people that didn't weigh in a fish at the Potomac region.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that. I'm telling you, when we were there for the Costa, it was awful.
It must be pretty. Thrift did. He called it. He said it was in bad shape, and apparently it's not doing too great right this moment.
Whoa, here's something I hadn't seen.
Jump on it.
Jigs McThump. That's all right. That's a good name. Said something about Hallman getting a gun pulled on him at Lake Mead for the U.S. Open. I don't know.
Lake Mead?
I hadn't heard anything about that, so enlighten us. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that.
I hadn't heard anything about that.
If there's an article online or something about that, drop the link in the feed there.
Yeah.
So, all right. Patrick has a question.
All right.
He said he needs some help, boys. So this is we'll answer, and then you guys can help him out too. Said his wife wants to go fishing the first week of November for 4 days.
That's pretty good.
Question is Norman, Wiley, or Hartwell? What's your pick between those three?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Norman.
Yeah,
Norman. I knew
go
you were
to
going to
Norman.
say Norman. I would say Norman. First week of November. Granted, hopefully you'll be fishing during the week because there are a couple really big tournaments going out the 2nd and the 9th. If you're around, hey, you could fish Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and jump in that SOS
tournament. That's exactly right.
So yeah, Patrick, I'd say Norman, and I say it just because you'll get a lot of bites.
Yeah, it's fun. You can catch them any way you want to catch them. Like if there's a bait you want to get a bite on, if you throw it long enough and cover enough water, you'll catch fish on it. I mean, anything from a drop shot to a jig and top water, you name it, you can catch a fish on it at Norman the first week of November.
Wendell, you nailed it. He said you can tell hunting's over for Matt this year because I went and got me a haircut. I did get my ears lowered, and usually I don't cut my hair during hunting season, but since I'm tagged out on bucks, the does, since I'm tagged out on bucks, I'll just go with this. I got my haircut so I could look a little bit more presentable for the does because I only have 4 doe tags left.
Oh, okay.
So I'm done shooting bucks. So that's my story.
I'm getting a little bit of a beard here, so maybe I'll.
And it's like red. Where'd that come from?
I don't know. Is it
Smoke's
red?
got a red beard.
Is it? Is it red?
It is pretty red. Pretty red.
There you go.
Hey, Adam Foster, thanks for getting on. Timmy Tompkins is watching. I see you there, Timmy. Let's see. Doug Lander's got a question about practicing. He wants to know how early would you start practicing for a huge tournament at the end of April. Personally, I don't like to spend a whole lot of pre-practice time for a tournament at the end of April because the month of April, it's changing every week, every day, every hour. Depending on where it is, I mean, I'd spend a couple days immediately following up to the tournament, but that's me. You know, I don't know if you'd actually go a month before. It depends
No,
on if you've
I
never
don't
been
like.
there
I don't
before.
like to do that.
Yeah, if you've never been there before, you just want to see the lake and ride around, and learn your way around it. That's one thing. That's the only reason I would go for pre-practice.
Yeah, I don't do that.
But in April, you can. I like to stay up with the day-to-day changes. So you know.
Yeah,
the closer
especially
tournament
that time of year in April, if you're in the southeast somewhere, because, I mean, you could go pre-practice and the lake be crystal clear in the 1st of March into February, and then you get a big storms or something come through in April and it get high and muddy and flooded, and pretty much everything you found in pre-practice is wasted. So,
Tyler, that's a great point. Tyler said, "Do you guys ever throw spinnerbaits or chatterbaits without the skirts?" I have some, not as much spinnerbaits as I have chatterbaits. I put little, fluke style minnow imitation baits on my chatterbaits before taking the skirts off. What about you?
yeah, I've done it a little bit on a spinnerbait, not a lot. I caught them. Where did I catch them at? I caught them at Cumberland some. In 18 when I won on a spinnerbait with a swim bait trailer on it. And then chatterbait, I do that quite often. I take the skirt off, especially if I'm wanting to get it a little bit deeper, or if I'm wanting my chatterbait to have a little bit more erratic action. I'll take the skirt off and put an armor shad on it, just something with no drag, not a swimming tail, just a straight Demiki armor shad. And that thing, the faster you wind it, it'll really cut up and bounce around and dive all over the place. So if you're looking for something that's going to juke and jive a lot in a chatterbait, take the skirt off and put that armor shad on there. It'll do good.
Let's see. We hope we're not having any problems on our end. Y'all let us know if anything happens to the video feed. Jigs McThump, let us know more about that Hallman deal. I'm interested.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of comments about it. He talked about it a lot on BTL.
Yeah, Bass Talk Live.
Yeah, he talked about a lot of
it. Mike Adrian said we should go fish the U.S. Open. You ever thought about going to fish the U.S. Open? It'd be a cool event. It's just a long way to go.
Yeah, like I've thought about it, and I think the only way I would do it is I'd have to find somebody out there with a boat that'd let me borrow it, and I'd just fly out there.
Yeah, that's a long way. I mean, it's deer season, so I'm not coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I just throw it out there.
You can now. You're tagged out.
Well, the U.S. Open's over.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Bryant Clary asked, does Demiki make any other spoons like the Vortex?
What's the Vortex spoon? I know
it's kind of like a blade bait almost, but it's a little different.
Not like the Vault. Y'all got the Vault.
Yeah, it's a lot wider. It's a little bit wider and heavier than the Vault. I mean, they've got a lot of baits that kind of do the same thing. The Axe Blade's really good, which is kind of like a tail spinner type bait, and one of my favorites, the Backdrop spoon. I mean, it's a great little spoon, and I've caught a lot of fish on that, especially a lot of schooling fish and fishing vertical stuff, jerking it like just a vertical spoon type fishing. But they got a lot of good baits. And they actually just came out with a bladed Vault, which is another blade bait called a Vault, and it's got a small willow leaf blade on the back of it, and it's a pretty neat little deal too.
Patrick said he grew up on these, said there are crazy people around there. Said a guy I met, I guess he's talking about Hallman, with a shotgun on his shoulder and told him he had 3 seconds to get out of the cover he was fishing. Huh. Yeah, I'll have to look at that a little bit more. I'll have to look into that a little bit deeper. Let's see. Tyler said, my 4-year-old son, Bowen, heard you say my name and would like you to say his.
Hey, Bowen.
What's up, Bowen?
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. What do y'all think about MLF buying FLW? Greg, I'm just going to tell you this. You could go to YouTube, go to iTunes, go to Stitcher, go to, I don't know if I'm even saying all this right.
I still don't know what a Stitcher is.
Our podcast. go watch last week's show. We talked about that pretty much the entire show. So that discussion was pretty long and drawn out. And hopefully we shared our opinions pretty thoroughly, I think. FLW Tour is going to be 4-day 5-fish limit for 2020. Yes. So I heard about that. We will address that. You want to talk about that? Because I did hear the format changed.
Yeah, that's all I've heard on it. I've heard they're going to go with the traditional 4-day format, 5 fish, bring them to the scales, weigh them in. So that's what I heard.
4 days too, not 6 days anymore.
Yeah, 4-day event and 5 fish format.
Let's see. Gabe, I missed that. He said, "You guys see the pic of my boy dressed as Thrift for Halloween this year."
I hadn't seen that, but I would like to.
Share that.
I would love to see
share
that. That'd be
if
awesome.
You're not already part of our Facebook group, Gabe, jump in the group there and share that page on the group.
That's awesome.
Or just post it to our regular page. Either one. I'd like to see that myself. I hope you didn't stick a Marlboro Light in his mouth. Or a sun drop in his hand.
Sun drops are delicious.
But I bet he's probably got some cargo shorts, maybe some stingers hanging out of it.
That would be perfect.
I don't know if he's got a jersey on or not. But
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
That'd be, yeah, I'd like to see that, Gabe. All right, Thrift, if you had a chance to try out them Guggen baits I gave you, Taylor Lawson one.
I have not.
Let's see. Oh, Mike Adrian, he's coming back at you. He said, if I find you a boat out there, will you go?
Hey, I'll really consider it. I mean, like when they come out with the dates, and if I can, yeah, I would like to go out there. I'd never been there. I think it'd be fun.
Matt, yeah, no, that would be a cool event. I mean, I was just messing with it's deer season. I'm not going, but I mean that's probably true. I probably wasn't messing, but I do think that would be a cool event. I mean, it'd be a place that you and I have never been to, and we like going to new lakes, like trying to figure. And obviously, it's a very challenging. And that's the deal. The U.S. Open's the deal where it's a shared weight system, right? You share the weight with your co-angler.
Yeah, your co-angler. It's kind of like a team event, but the team changes throughout the event.
Yeah, you have a different. That's right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting format. All right, Max Aaron Stocks wants to know Pickwick for smallies this time of year. I need to know that because we're going out there. Oh, yeah, we talked about the other two tournaments, but I'm leaving Friday. Brian's leaving Friday. We won't have a show next week, just FYI. Brian's leaving to head to the Coastal Championship up on Cumberland. I am leaving Friday to go to the Toyota Owners Tournament out on Pickwick, and hope to see everybody that signed up for bonus bucks that's eligible to fish that event. I hope to see y'all there. Going to be a great time. Back to Max's question. He said, what would you throw at Pickwick for smallies this time of year? One bait, Brian. If you had one bait for smallmouth on Tennessee River System, he's saying Pickwick, but let's just say Tennessee River System.
I got to go shallow with something like a whopper plopper or a chopo.
Ooh, I like it.
That's what I got to do.
I like it.
They'll throttle that thing, too.
Unless it gets really cold. If it gets really cold on you real quick or something, I'd like to pick up a finesse jig. But and that's what Bill Taylor would say, a boozer bug.
Or an A-rig.
Or an A-rig. Yeah, actually, you can't go wrong
I tell
with
you,
an A-rig.
and the reason I say the plopper of a chopo is we fished a Costa Championship some years ago at Wheeler Lake, first week of November into October. And I ended up finishing 4th or 5th, I think, and I was catching all smallmouth on a plopper, and then it got cold, and I caught them the last day on an A-rig. So there you go.
I remember that. Jonathan Church wants to know if you'd like to see the FLW come to the Coosa River in Alabama.
Yeah, why not? I've never fished the Coosa River.
You didn't fish Logan Martin when we fished that cup back in 06. Andy Montgomery and I were co-anglers in that event.
I've never fished the Coosa River at all.
All right, survival in a tournament, Brian Walden. That's a good question. When all your tournament plans fail, you've been through A, B, C, D, all the way down to whatever. What's your go-to bait to survive the tournament? I can.
Yeah, I really have to ask that.
If you like. If anybody wants to answer Brian's question and give him Thrift's answer, y'all can drop it in the feed. But
my go-to bait if I'm struggling is a Demiki stinger of some shape or form.
And just here, Jeff's in the other room.
I think Jeff's on the toilet.
All I heard Jeff say was "shocker." How would you rig it? I mean, your go-to. How have you caught? How have you gotten the most bites on your stinger?
That's a loaded question because I catch them every which way.
I know that, but there's one particular way that you've probably caught more than the others.
That's dependent on the season. Like if it's around the spawn, wacky rigs definitely best. If it's pre-spawn, I throw it on a shaky head. If it's post-spawn, I throw it on a Carolina rig. And I caught a bunch at Champlain on a Nico rig in summertime. So which way you want to rig it, they'll bite it. Guaranteed.
Mike Harris got a question about fall bait movement. More dependent on falling water temperatures or fewer daylight hours? Talking about migration of big bait schools.
I'm thinking length of daylight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, I think combinations. I mean, a combination of the two. But it's like deer hunting to me. I hate to bring up deer hunting, but it's similar to fishing, with moons and daylight hours and things like that. I feel like the daylight hours and the moon phases and stuff all play a factor in how wildlife move or feed or whatever. But I feel like weather can trump that more often than not.
Yeah,
So,
that is true. Case in point would be the Lake Murray Cup we had that
bingo.
fish were biting
That
a
had nothing to
stupid
do with
pencil
fewer
popper.
daylight hours.
No, nothing.
All that had to do with was a drop in the temperature
Yeah.
for about 10 days in a row.
Yeah.
They thought it was October, I guess.
Stupid hair and screwed me out of a win. It'd been hot and 100 I'd have won that tournament. I feel like I sounded like Robbie Dye when I said that. Let's
Woulda,
see.
coulda, shoulda, didn't.
Anthony Randall, I will be at the Sportsman's Warehouse in Lexington, Kentucky, November the 26th, I believe it is, a Saturday, from 10 to 2. So if you're in that area, come by. Myself and Jimmy will be there. Come talk fishing and hang out, buy some stuff. I know they're going to have a bunch of Fitzgerald rods there, a lot of Demiki baits and P-line. Come talk to us and stock up, and it's going to be a fun Saturday.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I mentioned this last week, but Angler's Choice does have, and I believe I've got it written down, they still have some specials running through the month of October.
Wait, I said November the 26th.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I meant October the 26th.
You going to post that on your social media?
Yes, I will. It'll be, or not the 26th. Let me consult with my calendar on my phone here, because I'm
you
all
actually have
messed.
anything on that calendar? Do you have any appointments on that calendar?
No, but I know that, yes, it will be the 26th of October.
I'm impressed.
26th of October, I will be at Sportsman's Warehouse in Lexington, Kentucky. So come by, hang out, talk to me. Be there from 10 to 2.
You sure?
For sure.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
All right.
Well, let me, Lord willing, I'll be there.
Okay. Angler's Choice still has huge discounts on all their campers, guys. 2019 Rangers. Anything they still have left in stock, you get a free cover and a $4 per horsepower credit. That ends on Halloween, so be sure to get in on that while it still lasts. All right. Billy Dryden wanted to know if you guys were in Ohio, what would you be throwing? Probably a 350 grain Carbon Express Arrow with 125 grain Ramcat broadhead.
Oh my God!
Sorry, that was too easy. He said spinnerbait or put the boat away and go hunting. I mean, so I just answered.
No,
it.
don't put the boat away. If you're in Ohio, you're relatively close to some good fishing. You just got to drive 4 or 5 hours north or south. So just get out of Ohio. That's all you got to do.
Oh, Anthony said that pic of his boy dressed up like you is on the page, and he has everything but the six. So that's good. Though.
That is good.
But he must have the sun drop, the cargo shorts, got the whole 9 yards. So, all right. Practice tip. Matt wants to know. This is for you. Give us a tournament or practice tip that you ain't told us before. We want something good, so come on now.
What number show is this? I don't know if I got any goods left.
76. This is LTF 76.
76 shows. I'm tapped out. I done told it all.
Walsh is slipping in here. Our boss is in the room, so.
You can't give all. You gotta save at least one secret.
Jeff said I got to save one secret. Evidently, we got something big in the works. I don't know. I hadn't been briefed on it yet. So y'all had to consult with Jeff on that.
Sorry, Matt. I guess that's one of the few questions that we're not gonna get.
I can give you. Let me.
Okay, Brian's gonna answer.
I'm gonna come up with something. I'm gonna try to. I'm thinking of something that I hadn't talked about yet.
All right, you want to think about that while I jump on another question, or?
Yeah, we can do that. I'll think on that, and you see what's going on.
Yeah. Thrift needs sun drop on his boat. Thrift has plenty of sun drop on his boat.
I need a logo on my boat with some money coming in to have it there.
Let's see. Yes, Monica Dellinger. We talked about the tournament earlier in the show, but Monica's actually dropped a little bit more information in the feed there about the Special Olympics tournament, the one that Ricky Peace puts on every year. And like we said earlier, that's November 2nd. So she did put in there that the entry forms can be found on cashandrods.com. And I'm not sure if you can sign up for that one the day of or not. I guess if you go to the entry form, it'll let you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. Oh, Mike Harris dropped a link. Thanks, Mike. He said everything you need to know about the MLF FLW. Joining forces at anglerschannel.com. He dropped a link down there. Yeah. Had home. I don't know. Thunderfoot dropped a comment in the feed, but his grammar's so bad I can't even translate it. He had home a thrift shirt, cargo pants in the sun drop bottle.
What?
Exactly. Try again, Thunderfoot. We're looking. Carolina rig speed crawl. I like it. I don't know what that means, Scott, but I like it.
I do like it.
That must have
That's
been a response.
That's a good bait.
That must have been a response. That's a smallmouth killer. I bet that was a response to the Pickwick smallmouth question.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
thing catches smallmouth anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
Carolina rig speed crawl. Yep, that'll do it.
I tell you what, I caught them on though too, like playing off of the Carolina rig speed crawl, because that's what I originally started catching them on smallmouth a lot. Was the little 3-inch Demiki air crawl. It's pretty neat on a Carolina rig because the claws have the air pockets in it.
Yep.
And you can put a little 2-aught Berkeley Fusion hook in it, and it'll float up off the bottom like when your weight's sitting still. It'll float up 3 or 4 inches. It's pretty neat. Works good too. Brad's
on here said the plopper seemed to be a popular search bait for the IFA redfish guys in Venice. Shout out to Brad and Wyatt. If I'm not mistaken, I know they got a check out of 100-something boats. They finished 20-something place. And cashed them a check down there, and I know I think they barely got that tournament in.
I think they finished second in Team of the Year points in the Atlantic Division too.
You think? That's a pretty big accomplishment. We better make sure our facts are right.
Their points, but I'm pretty sure they did.
So Jeff just let me. They finished second in the Angler of the Year, Team of the Year points in the Atlantic IFA division.
I believe.
Well, Brad and Wyatt are on here. I saw them, so y'all let us know.
They can correct me, but they did awesome.
Congrats to those boys.
The conditions down there were not awesome.
And I'm glad, Brad, that Jeff moved y'all's boat out of my yard today. So that was nice of him to come by and get it. What'd you catch all your smallmouth on in your last tournament, Matt? That would be the AOI Championship. I caught most of them cranking. Most of my big ones cranking. I caught a few on a little lunker stick, rigged wacky style on a drop shot. And then I caught a couple on a lunker hunt spicy tube on a 1/4 ounce, or excuse me, a 3/8 and a 1/2 ounce head. Most of my big ones did come on a crankbait through several different kinds, but most of them were in that 14 to 16 foot range. And that seemed to be a pretty common factor or common player for a lot of the top 10. Crankbait definitely accounted for a lot of really big bags that week. I know Clark Wendlandt, who finished second or third, he caught a lot of his fish cranking, and he had a couple 22, 23-pound bags. So Seth, who ended up winning, caught a lot of his fish on crankbait also. Canterbury did well. He caught a lot of his fish cranking. So crankbait was definitely a big player in that event. All right, let's see here. That's what somebody should be. Somebody could be a Demiki stinger for Halloween.
I think that would look weird.
It would look. Well, you couldn't make it brown, but
No.
it'd have to be some kind of like, maybe like hot pink, like a bubblegum color. They have a bubblegum stinger.
No, they don't.
They have a white.
Nope. Mostly browns and greens.
Gotcha.
And black and blue, black and red.
Black and blue would be doable, just not brown. Don't be a brown stinger for Halloween. LTF has the best comments. I agree, Shad Birch. Y'all
do a great job.
Yeah,
y'all keep us as entertained as hopefully we keep y'all entertained.
That's why you hear the random giggles all the time.
Like if we're just sitting here and all of a sudden we bust out laughing, thank you for the comment.
Yeah. Let's see. When you come to Sportsman's Warehouse in Chattanooga, Thrift, do you have an appearance there?
I don't have anything scheduled at the Chattanooga store, but I'd love to come down there. I've been down there a couple of times. I think Mike's the head guy there, and did a couple of appearances there when we were at Chick for the tour over the last couple of years. So they got an awesome store there, big store too, with a lot of stuff.
Real quick, pretty important question right here. We need to address this. So on a serious note, Thrift. Shadbird said, "Smoke, what's your thoughts on Dr. Pepper?"
My wife likes it.
Now, what's your thoughts on Dr. Pepper?
My thoughts on Dr. Pepper is it'll do if you can't get to a sun drop, but it's got too much carbonation.
So is it a second choice of yours or not even?
No, it's a rare choice.
So what are you going?
It's too carbonated.
What's your go-to when you can't get a sun drop?
Oh man, I tell you, here lately I've been drinking a lot of those Body Armor drinks. They're pretty good.
Boy, that's a lot different than a sun drop. I
It
thought you
is.
just said something like Mountain Dew or something.
No, like I drink Mountain Dew if I can't find a sun drop. It's between Mountain Dew and Body Armor.
Yeah, that I have had that strawberry banana one, and it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it is good. Let's see. Scott Johnson said he's asked we know you were throwing the kick knocker on Hamilton in the cup.
Oh,
and I was
caught
throwing
him.
it. No, I said I was throwing a walking bait. I just didn't say what one. But yeah, it was the kick knocker. Those fish were feeding on little bitty shad, and it's a small little walking bait. I think it's the pup or something like that it's called.
That so where else are you going to get the goods like that? You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't have to address that question, but he chose to, and yeah, that's and I heard you bragging on that bait to me when you telling me how big of a deal you thought it was too.
Yeah, I mean it's a little small walking bait. It does really good.
Because when they're like that time of year, you and I both know how they will completely avoid certain things, and then you just have to keep going until you figure out exactly what they want. David Williams said, "Could I get Let's Talk Fish to?" First of all, if you can't get our name right, you've already failed your interview. So no, you're not getting a sponsorship from Let's Talk Fish because you called it Let's Y'all Fish.
I can't even get Let's Talk Fish to sponsor me. That's why I ain't got a Let's Talk Fish logo on my boat.
Thrift took the words right out of my mouth, so we're still waiting on our Let's Talk Fish sponsorships. Jeff's probably ignoring us right now, but he's in another room. Jeff's still waiting on his Let's Talk Fish sponsorship deal too.
Perfect, Jeff. Perfect.
He said, y'all say something? Hello from Georgia, Richard Allen. Thanks for tuning in. He said topwater is now on fire on Lake Lanier and Hartwell. Boy, I bet them big spots are blasting some topwater.
I bet they are.
Now.
Probably stripers too.
Yeah.
That's fun. Anytime you can catch anything on topwater, it's fun. It doesn't matter if it's a catfish.
I talked to buddy the other day that went to Murray, and they caught them really good, and everything they caught was on topwater. Stripers.
Yeah,
Stripers.
that's awesome. That's fun. I just like seeing them bite it.
Hey, Jeff, Savage Adam wants a vector file of Let's Talk Fish logo to add to his boat wrap.
Get on it, Jeff.
Adam, shoot Jeff a message with your email address, and he'll get that over to you ASAP. Oh, he
Do
said
it right now.
He said literally
Do it
right now. That means Jeff will get to it in a couple months. So, but he'll get it to you. I promise. Jeff's usually good for his word. Just might take a little longer. He's getting mad. I just seen how long it'd take for me to get you fired up. I'm getting invites to go out of state. That's what I need. I'm tagged out here in North Carolina.
You just need to go out. You need to
go
up to Virginia or down to South Carolina.
They go chase some whitetails somewhere else. All right, there's some really good lakes in Northeast Ohio. Took 26 pounds in a one-day event this past spring.
Ooh.
Wow, where are those? I want to know where those are in Ohio because they're probably pretty small lakes. But let's see. Anthony said best thing you ever heard on this show. Get out of Ohio. That's what he's telling Shadbird. I mean, my experience.
We give
with Ohio,
solid advice.
Yeah, is the Ohio River, which is not a good representation of any fishery. Now, I'm not saying that the Ohio was kind of cool because it was really challenging.
Yeah.
You know, and I like a challenge. And it's full of bass. They're just really they look like this cup right here. They're real fat.
See, I fished the Ohio River in like 20 years ago for a federation tournament out of Paducah, Kentucky. And it wasn't that bad. Like I caught some big smallmouth, but I was fishing right behind the Kentucky Lake
now
Dam.
that's the best part of the whole river, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the further north you go, the worse it gets. The worse you were over there during the Cup in Pittsburgh too, weren't you?
Yeah, we fished the Ohio for that was fun. Like catch a lot of fish. I caught a couple 4-pounders in that one.
But it was 10 pounds a day.
Oh,
no,
God.
less than 10 pounds a day.
6 pounds a day was phenomenal.
Yeah, and Hackney won that one, if I'm not mistaken, and he caught like 11 pounds the final day or something.
Yeah.
Just ran away with it because he caught such a big bag. Screw lock. Jeff Johnson wants to know screw lock on a shaky head or not, Brian. I know
I'd throw a screw lock.
Yeah, yours.
All right, I'm gonna tell you how I do it. I throw both actually. If I'm fishing offshore, like fishing not offshore, but if I'm fishing the bank, fishing points, and offshore or anything like that, I throw a screw lock. And if I'm fishing docks, I throw one that's just got a traditional keeper you thread the worm up on. Because actually a shaky head will skip a lot better without the screw lock. If you throw in a shaky head that you thread the worm up on and Texas rig it back in, it'll skip a whole lot better than that screw lock will. For some reason, I don't know if it's the way the worm sets on the head. It's not a big enough surface area where it hits the water. It just doesn't skip good with that screw lock on it versus threading it up on a shaky head.
Jigs McThump want to know if we read the article on using a generator versus lithiums. Want to know our thoughts. I have not read that.
I hadn't read the article either.
So, where is that article? Let us know where that article is.
I think I seen it. I wanted to see. Maybe it was on FLW or...
Yeah,
Hang on, let me look right quick. I'll let you know.
Well, Jigs McThump, I'm sure he'll drop us a link. I just like saying his name, Jigs McThump. Jigs McThump.
Been a long time since I've had a thump on a jig.
No. You
It
probably
has.
caught Summit Moss the other week on a jig.
I did. I caught one.
See? There you go. I
Forgot
bet it
about
thumped
that.
it, though.
It did.
Your thoughts on jerkbaits in the fall? I tell you this, they're a big player that is very, very, very underrated. The fall jerkbait bite can be just as good as the pre-spawn jerkbait bite. Brian and I have caught them all through the summer on a jerkbait. Jerkbait is definitely a 12-month out of the year type bait. Cadences, styles of jerkbaits can change based on seasons and water temps and species of fish, believe it or not. Whether they're suspended, whether they're on top of
Spots
brush.
seem to be more susceptible to a jerkbait all year than largemouth do.
Smallmouth too.
Yeah, smallmouth too.
Yeah, smallmouth too. But yeah, the largemouth, and that's a good point. And you want to elaborate on why you think that is? Just because they're lazier? Is that what you're gonna say?
Largemouth.
Yeah.
I'm not
they're
gonna say
smarter.
they don't chase as they're not as aggressive as a spot and a smallmouth is. I
Curious.
think that's a lot of the difference between catching largemouth year round on it and catching spots and smallmouth year round. They're just the nature of the different species. I mean, largemouth, I guess they are kind of a little bit lazier. They don't seem to chase as much as a spot and a smallmouth. Like a single largemouth sitting on a tree, you're more likely to catch him flipping a jig or a soft plastic or putting something right in his face versus him actually coming out of the structure to bite it like a spot and a smallmouth will.
Word on the street that the jerkbait was the primary weapon used to win the Moss Lake fish off.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard.
Hey, there you
That's
go.
what I heard. So, and they had about 14 or 15 pounds of guys who won. So, all right. Let's see. Ryan was talking about some of the lakes in Ohio. I haven't. Thunderfoot said his phone doesn't understand Southern yet. But if you'd update that 1970s phone, you could probably.
He's probably got a flip phone.
He had a flip phone like a year ago. No kidding.
Yeah.
And
See, I thought I was
got
one
his
of the
first-
last ones to have a flip phone. Like, I carried one up until about 5 years ago, probably.
No.
5 or 6. Yeah, it ain't. It's yeah.
Bruce literally had one probably a year ago, year and a half. Cumberland, there you go. Thrift. Cumberland took 26 pounds to win a 2-day 123 boat field this past weekend.
Good deal.
He said it's so that's pretty tough. I mean,
Yeah.
123
I
boats.
mean, that's typical fall fishing, though.
Yeah, 13 pounds a day. But Cumberland's it's got big fish in it. It's got a lot of big smallmouth in it. And you'd think as this weather continues to cool off.
Yeah, I
Those
think
big
it's
smallmouth
got to
will
start
layer.
getting better. It's got to be on the coming up to getting good.
Let's see.
I know we've answered this question several times, but Scott Johnson asked, "What's your go-to size jig? 3/8 or half?"
Half.
Half for me as well.
Yeah, and I just feel like a half is a little bit more versatile.
Yeah.
I very rarely do I ever throw a 3/8 anymore. Do you? I mean, a regular, casting jig.
I haven't thrown a
Skipping
3/8 in years.
I got on a little shallow jig bite one time, and I was down. I was actually down. Where was I at? Oh, I was at Eufaula, and I was flipping some of that shallow bank grass, and I was literally flipping like 10 inches of water.
Yeah.
And I switched to a 3/8 because it just didn't matter, and the half. I guess that's the only reason I switched to 3/8 because it was super, super, super shallow.
Yeah.
But other than that, I haven't thrown a 3/8 in years either. I have a bunch in my box. I just cause for a peace of mind, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Jonathan Carter asks if he throws out 2 5-inch stingers on separate rods in 20 feet of water. One has 10-pound fluorocarbon and the other has 20-pound fluorocarbon. Which one's going to hit the bottom first, mate?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
The one with 20-pound fluorocarbon.
Is going to hit the bottom first?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the line sinks and it's bigger. Fluorocarbon sinks.
I know, but I was thinking 10.
Well, what makes fluorocarbon sink? Do you know?
I guess the density of it.
All right. So if you got this cup full of rock,
That makes sense. I see what you're saying.
Oh, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
I
see
mean,
what
that's
you're saying.
my theory. I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
I don't know either. I don't know that I've ever. I
Do
guess
you
it
know,
depends on how
Jonathan,
big
is-
a weight you got on it too. It doesn't say if he's got a weight on it.
Well, I'm assuming
I'm not-
everything else is equal.
Yeah.
I'm assuming everything else is equal.
I would think the 10 would hit first because there's going to be less drag. Like just the diameter of the two. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if it was monofilament, then I could see it being reversed. But the only reason I'm saying that because he said
Because
it's fluorocarbon.
the denser fluorocarbon.
Now I don't know. That's something we need to try.
Maybe that's a science
I bet you-
experiment we need to
I bet
run.
you Dudley's already tried that.
I bet he has too.
I guarantee
I bet he
he's
has
tried
too.
it. Probably with every
All right, he says weightless.
weightless. Well, then I'm going with the 20.
I'm gonna go with 10. Just
Scott says
'Cause I
10
don't-
because it's less resistant.
yeah, I'm
Brian
going
New
with
said
10.
10 hits the bottom first.
That's what I'm going with.
Brent Kessler said, "Why does it matter?"
Exactly. That's a good. Thank you, Brent. Thank you.
But okay, all right. Jonathan Carter said
I'm
he has no
saying,
clue.
yeah,
He's
I'm
just
saying,
wondering.
I'm saying 10 just because of the drag and just the resistance 20 is gonna have. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, all right. So they're most everybody's agreeing with you. So, in order for me to prove myself,
We're gonna have
correct,
to run
I'm
a
gonna
little
have to go
science
try this.
experiment.
And if I'm right, oh, y'all are gonna eat your word so bad.
Hey, next time we go fishing together, we're gonna set this experiment up and we're gonna test it out and see, because we're both throwing P line, so we'll both have the same brand fluorocarbon. One of us will do it on 10, the other one do it on 20, and we'll just run a little science experiment.
I'm throwing the 10.
I don't care which one you throw.
If it starts to win, I might pick up my slack a little bit or something. You never know. When y'all coming out with the thrift, riding a bald eagle with a Demiki
We talked
stinger
about that.
in its talons t-shirt.
We talked about that. I don't know, Jeff. You have to consult with Jeff on that.
He's on the phone or something now. I don't know what he's doing. He's on a business call. Jonathan said he thinks you should get a hat for that question. Jonathan,
That was a good question.
You've been watching us since we started. You should have already bought 10 or 12 by now. You ought to be hat poor.
We're trying to get LTF to sponsor us. We got to sell some stuff.
Yeah, David Williams, if you want a sponsorship, you're going to have to start selling some hats, bro. Oh, by the way, he corrected himself earlier. He said talk. He screamed talk 2 or 3 times. in the comments.
Daniel Rose says 20 sinks faster if one side's longer than the other, like a frog.
Now mine, at least my explanation made a little bit of sense. That explanation makes 0 sense.
That's awesome.
Here's a good question. We've talked about this a little bit, but talking about crankbait fishing. Always EWGs on crankbaits, or do you steer away from them in cold water?
I never throw a EWG on anything.
Neither do I. I'm all round bends all
Yes.
the time.
Yep.
Cold, hot, medium
Yep.
temperature.
Doesn't matter.
And that's just our personal. Do you have a technical reason for that, or is that just your preference? That's what I've had best luck with over the years.
Yeah, to me, I think the EWGs are fine once you hook them. But I think you miss more fish on an EWG.
Well, yeah, just because of the gap in the.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if you're trying to shake a fish off, you roll the hook point in. That's what EWG is. I mean, the hook point's rolled in, so why would you want to do that? That makes absolutely no sense.
Let's see. Andy Baker said G-Man did a video of it on YouTube explaining it, but he was using crankbaits. Explain.
Yeah, with crank, I think he's talking about the line size. Yeah, if you're cranking, line diameter definitely plays a huge factor in how deep that bait runs. So the smaller pound test you're throwing, the deeper that bait's going to run. You've got less drag with the smaller diameter line.
Back to my argument, that has 0 to do with the rate of fall, though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you're flatlining, just letting the bait free fall.
Like I said, I might be wrong. That's just what I was thinking, just only because the fluorocarbon.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're wrong.
Is a sinking line. You just want to think I'm wrong, even if I was right.
No, I agree with you when I think you're right.
You understand my point though I was trying to make. So that's a first. Thoughts on Mountain Island Lake? Mountain Island Lake is a darn good lake. I've literally fished it. I fished it like 5 times in my life.
Me too.
But it is a good lake, and it's overlooked a lot because it's smaller. It sits between Wiley and Norman, and they get a lot of attention on the national level. But it is a phenomenal lake. It's slam full of spots. Got some really big largemouth in it. I think it's a great lake. It just doesn't get the attention that the other ones do.
Yeah. Here's another question on hooks and crankbaits from Scott Johnson. You throw short shank trebles on any of your crankbaits?
No, I don't. I don't throw short shanks.
I don't either.
And I've heard people switch around, when they're throwing square bills, do a lot of cover and things like that. I have downsized like my front hook before.
Yeah.
But I've never gone to short shank hooks.
Yeah, me either.
And I think, you look at Van Dam, and he throws a lot of the short shank, mustad, triple grip, whatever.
Yeah, and he don't have any trouble catching them.
Yeah, I don't think so. I
know.
swear, every time I see that man hook one on a crankbait, he's always landed like everybody. Have you ever seen him lose one? Of course, they might not show his losses on TV like they show my losses.
They did show your losses.
Yeah, they like to show my losses. Let's see. My wife just texted me a question from Brian Walden. Must have missed this one. Said, Matt, was the move to the elites all we fishermen think it should be? And in your opinion, is elites still the ultimate tour? Brian, I can only actually speak from my experience. With my transition to the elites, now I'm trying to get back to feed here. It's the best decision I've personally ever made for my career and my family. For a lot of different reasons, which I can't say. If I sat here and talked about every single reason I went and every single reason why I'm liking it over there, I might be here all night, but it was good for my brand. It was good for my sponsors, and that has a lot to do with where guys fish now too. Their sponsor alignments, the scheduling. A lot of that goes into our decisions that we make as anglers in order to do this as a full-time career. So there's a lot of different pros and cons. But when I made my sheets out, when I had the decision to make, and I put my pros over here on one to go, my cons over here, it was basically a blank sheet, and this one was loaded down with reasons to go. So it was definitely a decision that I don't regret one bit, and I'm happy to be where I'm at. All right, Thrift got Dyer on Santee to fish CBC Championship.
I can't believe you got Dyer out of the house.
So the CBC Championship's tomorrow.
Yeah, on Santee Cooper.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, somebody did ask earlier what kind of weights would you predict for down there? I have no experience.
I've never been there in the fall. I've never fished Santee in the fall.
It's Santee though. Somebody's going to crack.
Yeah, there's going to be some giants caught.
I imagine it probably right before it gets super cold. I imagine those fish really eat.
You think they have to?
Because
that place has got herring. It's full of shad.
Right?
I don't know.
When it gets really cold, I fished it like in February before, and it was awful.
I fished a BFL there one time in February, and I remember it was cold, like freezing.
Was there like 3 limits caught?
I remember I practiced 2 days and fished a tournament one day, and I never got a bite in 3 days. That's what I remember.
That could have been. It's funny you said that because I fished a BFL, and I want to say it was in 04, 05, 06. It was at Santee in February, and I caught one slow rolling a spinnerbait in the actual diversion canal.
Yeah.
In practice, and I never caught one in the tournament, and that was the only bite I had in practice.
Yeah.
And it's like a 6-pounder, but it's the only bite I had.
Yeah.
All right. Shadbird, that is 100% not the answer. He said 19.5 pounds Moss Lake. We haven't asked the trivia question if anybody was asking. But I think it's about time. What time we got, Brian?
We got 7:55, so we're creeping up on it. This has been a pretty good Wingin' It show.
Yeah, we haven't. And guys, that's all about y'all. Look, when the title, when our hot topic is Wingin' It with some Q&A,
y'all came through. Y'all.
That's just opening it up for y'all to interact with us and ask questions and shoot from the hip and let us give you our feedback. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. I think we had 250 plus live viewers tonight. So we do thank y'all for that. And like I said, we'll have a trivia question coming up in just a couple minutes. Let's see what I want to see what this is, because Scott Johnson said he'll give Elliot $1 if he answers that one. Let me go back to what Elliot's question was. So it might take me a second. I don't know what it was.
I don't either. I must have missed that one. I did see a question, hang on, about a balsa crankbaits that was kind of interesting. Oh, here you go. Ryan Shario asked, do you guys throw balsa crankbaits much? He says he's been throwing them now for a couple years and think they're way better, especially around wood. I personally never throw a balsa crankbait.
I own very few.
Yeah, I never throw it because there's the plastic crankbaits. You can get plastic crankbaits that perform just like balsa. And the whole deal with balsa is it floats really high. That's why it comes through wood so good. So if you get you a short, fat plastic crankbait, it's going to float really high. It's going to come through wood great, just like a balsa bait. And if you're looking for a bait like that, Demiki just happens to be coming out with one that'll be available in January that I helped design. And it's going to be great for that purpose. I mean, it performs like a balsa bait. It's a short, fat crankbait, floats really high, thumps really hard, just like a good, fat, wide, wobbling balsa bait does. So keep your eyes out for that at the first of the year. That
question from Elliot said, we're going to see Thrift at Bass. That's the one that he said he'd give him $1 if you answered. But you already answered that last week. You said as of right now, your plan is to fish.
I mean, the only place I'm qualified to fish right now is the FLW Pro Circuit.
I just wanted you to say,
I guess that's
Scott, you need to give Elliot $1.
Hey, I thought I was the one getting $1.
Y'all should give Thrift $1 too for answering it, by the way. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know where that came from. Scott Fell said pollen could be a stinger for Halloween.
I don't know. He could be, though. It'd be awesome.
Let's see. One night you guys need to make the question something that our random guesses is the answer to.
Hey, we'll do that. We'll do that.
No problem. Getting on it. Getting a lot of trivia question answers. Did y'all like message them the question?
Yeah, something? I just posted it before I came in here.
Well, all their answers are incorrect anyway, so.
Sorry, Anthony. I was knocking some work out in there.
Hey, Jeff is watching now. Jeff Walsh.
Oh, Jeff, you're watching now? Nice.
Congratulations.
My Pages app won't pull up.
Yep, Scott said, dang, there goes my $1. I like it. Elliot, you can thank us later. All right, so it's about time to wrap the show up. If we see another question drop in the feed, we'll jump on it.
I got us one we can work on while y'all are Googling the results or the answer to the trivia question.
All right, so $1 for a shot of Pappy, William Jackson said.
Nah.
It ain't even open yet.
It ain't open yet.
All right, you want me to ask a trivia question, then you can address the
yeah, ask the trivia question. Jeff will determine. Jeff, do you know the answer?
I don't even know the question.
Sweet.
Oh, I gotta find it. Hold on. Well, we do have a cluster here, don't we? Oh, you can't. I wrote it in silver marker.
And Matt didn't even give it away tonight.
That's the answer.
Now, this is for a $25 gift card to Sportsman's Warehouse and a membership to Bass. So,
yep. Anthony, it's a good possibility I could have the wrong answer to my own trivia, but the whole point of it is you have to.
It's our answer.
You have to get
my answer.
Yeah, it's Matt's answer.
I don't care if it's right or wrong. You got to guess what I think's the answer. That makes it a lot more fun, at least on our end. And I take all the blame, so Thrift and Walsh just sit back and laugh at me.
We do.
Yeah,
that's the way it's supposed to be.
We said that earlier, Jody. Congrats to Bradford on his win at the Potomac. All right. Here we go. Trivia question time. This is for the Sportsman's Warehouse gift card and a membership to BASS. Who was the last person to win the Classic?
How do you read that?
Because I wrote it. Who was the last? No, that's not the question. First of all, you interrupted me. Now it's going to confuse everybody to death. Who was the last?
Start
person,
over. Start over.
Okay. Who was the last person to win the Classic as a Classic rookie? As a Classic rookie, not a rookie.
The first time they ever fished the Classic and they won it.
Just so y'all know, just to be clear, That paper does not say that.
Who was the last person to
agree.
win the classic
I
as
agree
a
with-
classic?
I agree
rookie?
with Jeff. That
Look
paper.
at that and tell me.
No.
That's
I already
what
got a
Matt's
winner.
interpretation is
Come
of
on,
what
Brian,
the
I
paper
already got a
says.
winner.
Time. I already got a winner.
You already got a winner?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even get to answer the question.
He's already got a winner.
We already got a winner.
James Bryant, right here.
You call
Right
the
here.
winners.
Yep.
You see it?
Yep, I see it. James Bryant, you are the winner. The answer was David Fritz.
That is all. That was quick. I didn't expect that.
Ryan Wheeler has not won a classic. Randy Howe, Ott Defoe, Jordan Lee, all those guys have won classics, but they were not rookies. They were not classic rookies when they won it. All right, so back to Thrift. Fritz was the answer. That was in 1993, I believe. If y'all find that to be incorrect,
Then
we're sticking to it.
Oh, well.
Doesn't matter.
That's the answer to our question. I don't. That may be another question
Yeah.
that's got a different answer, but that's
Yeah.
our question.
Yep, that's right. That's right. All right, so let's wrap it up here. So dang, I done forgot who won. James.
Jeff called it out.
James Bryant.
yes.
Yeah, James Bryant.
Send us a message and I'll send the card out. And last week's winner, I'll send your card out too because I forgot.
Yeah. All right, good deal. And James, also send us, if you're not already a member, send us your and you could pass this along to somebody else. But send us your address, name and address, shipping information for the BASS membership, and we'll send that out to Basket. Sign up for that.
Daniel Emerson says he got the first question right. It wasn't his fault. You read it in two parts.
That's pretty funny.
Jeff interrupted me. He was making
because
fun of
there's
my
no
handwriting.
way. It doesn't even say
Oh,
that.
we might have forgot one. Look here.
That's not a classic rookie if he didn't fish the Elite Series, nation qualifiers and stuff.
You said the first time they fished the Classic. I think Matt was wrong. It is
gosh.
brought to my attention that
Not
Matt
true.
did not have the correct answer to
Doesn't
the
matter.
question.
Fritz was the answer.
But the answer hasn't been determined because Fritz was the answer we had. Matt
You know who sent me this question tonight?
Bruce.
Thunderfoot.
All right. So it's not our fault.
No.
It's Matt's fault
Thunderfoot.
for trusting in Thunderfoot.
Y'all making me look stupid. It doesn't matter. I mean, we done called the winner.
Let me tell you how hard that is.
I
I,
love-
haven't done anything.
Bruce, you
I love
sabotaged
trivia.
us.
I love trivia night. This is the only place that you
We're
can
making
play
Matt
trivia.
look stupid, but me and Thrift have done nothing. That's how hard it is.
Bruce Camp.
Yeah, and then Brian.
Thunderfoot's real name is Bruce Camp, so he's on here. If y'all want to send him a
Matt, you
Facebook
got to start
message,
researching these questions.
Feel free to
and
do it.
answers.
We just ask whatever and write down whatever.
That's the great part about letting y'all fish.
We
we
mix
we
it
can
up.
make it up as we go along.
You may or may not be able to Google it.
It
And
may
we will
not be the
decide-
correct answer, but it's our answer.
We've already said that. It's 100%. It's 100%.
Hey,
Our story.
Hey, next time we have a show, I'll come up with a question
Whatever works.
with a correct
No, you
answer
won't.
that everybody
See, that's
knows.
part of the problem. Every week I say, Brian, you got us a trivia question?
I didn't know I had to do everything. I'm
exactly,
sorry.
Jimmy Barnes. What
I'm
is
sorry.
in the cup? What is in that cup?
Water, H2O, 100%. You want to verify that?
Everclear.
Yeah, it may be.
It's water. And I need some right now because y'all are picking on me. Hold on a second. Hold
What?
on a second. I was seeing something that might be.
What you see?
Yeah, that's correct.
Anthony
there was-
Randall said Jeff is cooler than you now.
I mean,
Dude. Me and Anthony are buds
thanks,
now.
Brian.
Thanks, Anthony.
Brian said, "Stay strong, Matt." Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that, brother. I got one friend left in the feed, but all right. So we're not going to be here next week. Don't forget about the charity tournaments coming up. The Toyota Toyota Bonus Bucks Owners Tournament this weekend. Can't even think straight now. You've got also the North Shelby Special Olympics Tournament November 2nd at Lake Norman. And you've got the SOS Tournament on November 9th put on by Angler's Choice also at Lake Norman. Great tournaments coming up. So, guys, if you don't have anything to do next few weeks, jump in one of those events. It'll be a good time, I promise you. Are you going to the – well, you won't be here for the Special Olympics Tournament. Are you going to the SOS?
No.
You're fishing the
Yeah,
SOS
I'm
tournament.
fishing the SOS tournament with Trent, and
Yep.
we're going to have some fun.
All right, so Brian will actually be at the
Yes,
SOS
I will
tournament.
be there for sure.
And but other than that, we'll probably be back the week after next, if I'm not mistaken. Jeff, you gonna be around? Let me make sure our tech guys.
I think
don't
I'll
even
be
know.
here.
When is that? What,
Hang
what
on, let me
week?
consult with my calendar.
2 weeks.
a week from Tuesday.
It will be November the 5th.
November the 5th.
Should be, yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
Should
Okay.
be a show. We don't know yet.
I'll leave
There
like
should be.
Thursday. We have a tournament that weekend, but I'll leave like Thursday, so we're good.
All right. James Wiley, I think
Friday.
I'm going to go home and take a bunch of BC powders. Guys, thanks for tuning in. And we will see y'all, plan to see y'all November 5th. We'll get us a guest. We might get little Brian New back.
Yeah, we get New back. We'll get somebody.
We might get little New back in here. He's watching the show.
I tell you, we need to get New and Robbie Dye at the same time because there'll be a good amount of trash talking.
Can they do the trivia question if we have them?
Whenever we have a guest, they will do the trivia question. Yes.
And then when we don't have a guest, will you do it from now on?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
All right. Guys, when we can't go fishing, we'll sit right here and talk fish. We'll see y'all November
See you
5th.
guys.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Fish. Visit our private Facebook group to continue the conversation, post your questions, and talk with other fellow anglers at facebook.com/groups/Let's Talk Fish. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Fish Official and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exclusive content. Join us again next episode for more actionable tips, tactics, and techniques directly from the pros. And remember, when we can't go fishing, we're going to sit right here and talk fish.